Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cheerleaders, welcome to the episode of Tatami Talk. My name is Juan. This is my triple partner, Anthony. This is a Judo podcast for Judo players by two Judo players. So, Anthony, how you doing? You're in India right now. How's the weather?
I'm not there yet, but I'm leaving in 2 days, and we're recording this beforehand. But it's supposed to be really hot. I'm surprised because I knew it was going to be warmer.
Hot in India? No. You're kidding me, right?
I thought it would be like LA or something, or even Japan, like certain parts of Japan in the winter, it gets a little cooler. Mm-hmm. I mean, I used to live in Hong Kong, which is tropical. I don't know about India, but Singapore, I always imagined would be the same weather as Hong Kong, where it's kind of chilly in the LA chilly in the winter. And then in the summer, it's just super hot. But I guess I haven't lived there in so long that global warming, climate change has just made things worse. So I knew it because when I was in my late 20s, when I was going back, I was like, I don't remember it ever being this hot. Maybe I'm just getting older. But then I'm like, no, it's climate change. Like I realize it's climate change. So it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm going to be packing lots of shorts, I guess, because I think I last checked, Singapore was 80 degrees, and it's going to be even hotter than that in India.
Now, how long are you going to be stopping in Singapore for? So
everyone's been asking me this, but you already know I'm really bad with dates to the point where I actually booked the wrong flights one time, and I had to pay extra because I missed a flight because of the time zone change. And then this is even more complicated because I think I lose 2 days flying there. So I'm leaving on the 16th, but I'm arriving on the 18th. But I think it's the 18th of like 1 a.m. in the morning. So when you ask me how many days, I think in total I'll be spending 5 days flying to Singapore and in Singapore, and then
5 days flying from LA to Singapore.
Yeah, and then so from the time that I leave from LA to the time I leave Singapore for India, it'll be 5 days.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think I realistically only get 3 days. I think I only really get 3 days to actually do stuff. And I'll be in India for another 5 days, I believe. So, and then now, when I fly back, I'm traveling back in time. So I don't lose the days. So
that's crazy when you do that flight from us over to Asia. It's always like that time travel. That's the coolest thing, I think.
Yeah, but it was never really a problem when I flew to Japan. Because it's always just, I don't feel it's just India and Singapore is just so far back. I've never lost 2 days before to flying. Like I've never had that before. I lost 1 day, but not 2 days. It's just a weird thing. I had to double check my plane tickets. I'm like, did I book the tickets right? Because they're pretty expensive when I bought them.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess it up and basically forfeit it and have to book a third flight, which is what I did one time. Expensive lesson that I learned. But on the bright side, I got to fly a budget Asian airline at the time when I messed up the flights.
Oh, okay.
And the budget, I probably mentioned in an older episode, but the budget Asian airlines were more comfortable than economy seats in regular American airlines. So that says something, but yeah. Well, I'll see how it is. I just hope I don't get sick because everyone told me I'm going to get sick from going to India. I'm just going to avoid drinking any sort of non-bottled water. I'm going to buy bottled water, brush my teeth with, and all that kind of stuff because, man, I just can't.
Take a Brita with you.
Get sick. I don't think that'll help. Yeah, so hopefully I won't get sick and I'll come back fine. Already got my rib injured and just last episode we talked about year of the rest. I'm not doing so great so far.
I'm not doing so great so far. Going all the way to India, yes.
Well, I had to take the day off work yesterday to do a bunch of family stuff before I leave, and then the injury made it so I had to cancel a previous engagement, but I couldn't tell my parents I got hurt. Does that make sense? So I told my mom I told my mom I was sick, so I had to push all the engagements from 2 weeks ago to this last week. So right before I'm leaving, which is like in 2 days, I'm getting all this stuff done. And I talked about buying a new car a while back. So I have to sell my car. And if I don't sell it before I leave for Singapore in 2 days, I have to pay the registration fee for the new year. And I don't want to do that. So within the next 2 days, I have to sell my car to CarMax. So yeah, that's something I have to do. I still have to buy wedding shoes. I didn't buy that. I was supposed to do that today, but we had a meeting at the dojo today. Ran long, so that kind of ruined it. And then now I have to record a podcast. I totally forgot about that because I'm like, oh crap, I'm going to be gone, and I got to pre-record the episode. So we're getting this out of the way.
Well, for me, at time of recording, I'm still in my sling here. Some of you guys might see it. Some of you guys might not. I still got 3 more weeks in the sling before I can start doing rehab. And I'm going to rehab that out of my shoulder to be ready to go on the mat in 2 weeks. Nah, I won't. I'll see what happens. But that's me. I got nothing going on right now. I'm going back to work and stuff. That's kind of cool for me.
You're back to work. Yeah.
Yeah. I worked on that 90s show this week. Very small scene. I don't know if people ever see me in and stuff, but it's cool being back at work. I'm very happy. Working at the new the new Netflix. They took over a stage. They took over a studio pretty much. And so it's like it's an old name, but it refers to it as the Netflix studio now. So that's fun. Well, since we're trying to keep episodes shorter now, we're trying to. Let's go. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we go into our main topic?
No, I think within the due to the nature of the content last episode, I got a lot of nice messages about people saying like, oh, I love your podcast. Like, this is the only thing that like gets me through workouts, or like, I love listening to it. So it was really nice to hear that from people. But I don't want to sound like I don't care about your feedback, because I really do. I really appreciate the feedback, but
he's so mean about this stuff. See, I'm happy about it. I love the feedback.
I have to reiterate what I said last episode, which is like, I like engagement on the topics we talked about, and not so much like, I love your podcast. Like, yes, I still appreciate those comments, but those aren't the kind of engagements I was talking about last episode. So there is a difference, but yeah, still appreciate those positive comments. And and I think there were a couple of people that signed up for our dojo that heard us on the podcast. So I was surprised by that. Yeah.
It's always cool when we get those. We always get a few. So that's nice. That's really nice. So the one thing I did want to ask you about, the little small talk I wanted to talk about before, some judo news in the ether out there. So we are less than 100 days away to the Olympics. You know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it was either right before we did our last show or right after we did our last show. The IGF and the British team and the Japanese team, all these teams are posting us out. 200 days to go. So from then to now, it's less than 200 days to the Olympics.
I'm sorry for all the French people out there, but when I guess I'm just been focusing on the LA Olympics so much, I'm just like totally ignored the Paris Olympics. I'm just like, oh, we still have another 4 years to go. It's what my head is thinking. I just like totally ignored the and part of it has to do with how I didn't have a Judo TV subscription last year. So I haven't been I haven't been blasted with reminders of when the Olympics is, because I haven't really been watching competitive judo. And the second part is I've kind of lost interest, I mentioned, to watching live judo because of the poor, inconsistent referee calls. So yeah, I'm not really excited for it. Sorry. And I told you I got offered tickets to go watch it. I got offered tickets to go watch it, and I have Air France credit because I was supposed to go to France right before COVID, but because COVID happened, they credited me, so I have flights I could book to France. It's just, I don't want to be in Paris during. I mentioned already I don't like Paris, but I don't want to be in Paris during the Olympics, especially. So
little thing I heard today on the news. I don't know if it was real or not. I hope it wasn't real. I hope it was a joke or something. But so we are getting the Olympics here in LA. That's another thing that's be kind of cool for us to do. We're gonna if we're still around, the Tatami Talk's still around, we're gonna do some live stuff at the Olympics at the judo events. All right, we're gonna get on there somehow. All right. But do you know we're also getting the World Cup apparently? Yeah. The World Cup is split between Mexico, Canada, and us. Yeah. But we're one of the cities, not like just like the US, but like they'll be here in Los Angeles. God, that's going to be crazy. That's freaking nuts.
So I love soccer, but I'm a little afraid of all the soccer hooligans, the football hooligans. So I think I'll be watching it safely from a bar somewhere. I used to live in Hollywood, right? That's why I used to go to Hollywood Judo. There's a British pub there that I would used to go watch the World Cup at, and that's the kind of atmosphere I like. So, but yeah, I'm excited about the World Cup, definitely.
Well, you'll be driving right by, was it, I know they just changed their name, but whatever, Angel City Stadium, you'll be driving right by there.
Yeah, I drive by every day. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been nuts having the World Cup out here. Like the Olympics is crazy enough. Now the World Cup, damn, it's gonna be crazy.
I can't believe
you might get some visitors at the dojo. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I can't believe what my commute to the dojo will be like. It'll be nuts.
I'll set you up a cot upstairs. Just sleep there, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, baby. I'm gonna stay at the dojo all week, all right?
All right. Yeah, that's exciting.
Right, so that's happening in LA. That's talking about judo. Get excited about it. Less than 200 days to the Olympics. So
less than 100, you said.
No, less than 200. Less than 200.
Okay, so this correction. You said 100 earlier.
Did I?
Now we're gonna have to release this like 100 days later.
I got excited there. All right, sorry, my bad. All right. So our main topic is something that happens here in LA. I know some other dojos do it. And I saw some other dojos actually promote that they're having like their 9th annual one or 10th annual one it was. And I was like, that's cool. So here in LA, we're having our 93rd annual Kohaku tournament. Now, the Kohaku is a different tournament than other ones. So the best way to describe a Kohaku is someone if you did wrestling or other martial arts and stuff, is think of it like an Ironman tournament, King of the Mountain. You know, they line everybody up according to rank. It'd be like all white belts, all brown belts, all black belts and stuff. They line you up according to rank, height, and I think weight, but usually like height and stuff. Like weight's not a big, super big thing, but usually height. Usually. Did you weigh in? I think it's been so long since I've been to one.
Yeah, I haven't been in one in a long time.
But they line you up, and the first two smaller guys start. Whoever wins stays. Now you continue going. You don't get a break even. You don't even get a break because it's like match. Okay, done. Next person. Match. Next person. Match. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about getting a promotion through this, and they make it sound like, oh, I just have to beat 5 people and I get promoted. Like
you have to beat 5 people consecutively bigger than you, and you being tired and them not being tired. All right.
Yeah.
So the way that works is that if you stay in the match or you stay on the mat for 5 matches, you win 5 in a row, you're qualified through the Kohaku for your next belt promotion. Now, I know a lot of people that are like white belts who use this to get their brown belts. I know some brown belts who try to get their black belts. I've even known a few black belts have done this to try to get their next Dan ranking. Personally, I'll tell you the stories later and stuff, but yeah, it's the coolest thing that you go in there, and the way they're doing it this year is that usually they have everybody go in early in the morning, everyone weigh in, and you just wait. This time they have it set up for different times. So kids are early in the morning, adults are late in the afternoon. You show up an hour before, I think it is, before your match time is. You go in there, register, and it's not a smooth comp. This is a download the PDF, fill it out, and go there kind of tournament. So you go there, you weigh in, give them your stuff, and then they just call you guys up. And it's the coolest thing because now, like, from my experience, I've only won 3 in a row. It gets tough because it is. You fight, you win, you go for the next person. There's no like, you don't get your 3-minute break or 5-minute break in between your match. No, you keep going. That's what makes it so hard. I've only known 2 people of my friends, 2 guys that I know that went to the Kohaku, won, and actually one. I think they both actually got first place in the tournament.
Other than the 2 people we were talking about, I met one, which is a kid at the dojo that I visit nearby. They got their next belt rank that way.
Yeah. So one of our guys, when he was a white belt, really good, went there, destroyed 5 people in a row, took first place. I was like, okay. And Philippe was like, all right, well, you passed. You did what you're supposed to do. Here's your brown belt. It's like he got his black belt fast because of that. He just stayed brown belt longer because of that. So it was good and bad at the same time. Like it was good for him to get his brown belt, but it was still the same amount of time for him to get his black belt. The other one is my little boy. I don't want to say his name. I don't want
your little boy.
Yeah, I say that. People are going to know. I know who you're talking about. But my boy. So he goes to Kohaku as a brown belt. Goes to Kohaku, wins 5 in a row. Now, because he just got promoted to brown belt like the week of or the week before something, Philippe was, well, you just got your brown belt. I'm not promoting you to black belt. So it is up to your sensei's discretion if they want to promote you or not.
They did add that asterisk. Like I was trying to look at this with you beforehand. We're trying to find the official paperwork, but basically a lot of the ones that I have found in the past I can't find anymore, and also they've changed over a few times every time. And it seems like one of the asterisks is you need your sensei's approval. And then there was one year where I looked at it and it says like you still have to fulfill certain requirements. Like you still have to do the Nage no Kata, for example. You can't just batsugun without doing Nage no Kata.
Yeah.
And then I think it also depends on the federation. So I haven't seen hard requirements yet on what it's like. But
let me explain what this is for also.
Yeah.
So let me explain what this is for. So most of you may or may not know how to get promoted in judo. Okay. One of the easiest ways to get promoted in judo is that you go to tournaments, you compete, you get points for your wins, you get points for you can just go into a tournament. You don't get points for losses, sorry. But you get points for your wins. And the way it usually works is that if you fight someone in your own belt rank, you beat them with equal, and that's a full point. You beat someone with a belt rank or a Q higher than you, it's 1.5 points. You get someone 2 times bigger than you, it's almost 2 points. So you build these points that you need in a certain amount of time, like say, okay, for my 4th dan, I'm doing like the lowest requirements where I was before I messed up my shoulder. I need 5 points in 5 years, I think, something like that. And so I had like 4 points already. Okay. But say I just got my 3rd dan, or say I just got promoted. Okay. Or I want to get my next dan rank. To bypass going that route of getting the points I need to get my promotion, I go to this tournament, I take 1st place, I get 5 wins in a row. Boom. I got all the points I need. Yes, I still got to do my Nage no Kata. I got to get my coaching certificate, my reffing, whatever the federation you do, whatever the requirements are. Yes, you have to do all that stuff, but you bypass all the points. All right. Yep. So that's the first way most people get promoted is go to tournaments, compete, get the points, get promoted. The second way is for a more casual person, what we call time and grade. You go to practice, you learn, you don't go to tournaments really, but you go to all your practices, you compete in randori at your dojo, you maybe help out in class and stuff. You build up what we call time and grade, which is longer. It's going to take you usually twice as long to get promoted that way. Sometimes less if you do more for your dojo.
The competition points you talk about, there's like, if you get 5 points, then you only need this time and grade. If you get 10 points, you only need like a shorter time and grade. That's how they do it.
Yeah. So with regular time and grade, about showing up and doing it. So sometimes if someone's like, I really want to get my brown belt, or black belt or something, whatever belt you want to get. And they're like, you want to know what? I don't want to wait all the time and grade, but I don't want to go compete either. I do pretty well. I'm going to go to Kohaku. They may or may not win because I've seen it do very poorly with some people before. They go to the tournament, they win 5 in a row. Boom, time and grade gone, points gone. You have that part all done. Okay, that's the why people would go to the Kohaku, because it's an easy way to bypass all that.
Yeah. So
But with saying that, I have seen people like another black belt I know who didn't train for a long time, took a lot of time off, really want to get his next dan rank for some reason, decided to go to that tournament, and he got hurt his first match. Yeah. And I was like, oh no. So let's break
it down. Like Kohaku means red, white, right? I don't know what the cultural significance of that is, because if you think about the NHK New Year show in Japan that they do, that's also called the Kohaku, the red and white tournament. So for those who don't know, in Japan, every New Year's, the TV channel NHK hosts this like music competition kind of thing. Like it's not serious, but it's basically all these big artists come together for a live show, basically that goes on for like 6 hours, something like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, but they divide them up into a red team and a white team. So, and then
it's divide up men and women.
Oh, it's men and women. I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
It's always men and women. Yeah.
Okay, so what happens if they have a band that's mixed?
They don't qualify.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, so red and white. So they have a red team and a white team. So that's what Kohaku means. Haku is white, Ko is like red, right? So this Kohaku tournament is historically held in the Kodokan, and they have a Kohaku contest that's held twice a year in the Kodokan headquarters in Tokyo, and also the Osaka Kodokan. So they hold this event twice a year, and they tie one side ties a white sash around their waist, and the other side ties a red sash, and that's where the red and white tournament came about. Now, some people confuse this with the batsugun. So the batsugun is like the promotion system that we're talking about that's held in this Kohaku tournament. Mm-hmm. So it's called promotion by batsugun, which is happening during the red and white tournament. So that's the gist of what the history behind of this is. I'm sure it goes back to something before the Kodokan, I'm sure, or there's more significance to that, but I'm not an expert on that, so I'm not going to talk about that. Is there anything you want to talk about before we go into our thoughts on the?
No, I think we pretty much summed it up. If anyone has is there any more detailed question about it? I know you got to win 5 in a row. You're up there the entire time. Yeah. You're by height and weight. So people are going to get bigger and stronger as you continue and stuff.
So let's read the important parts of this advertisement, right? So once you step on the mat, you stay there until you lose or tie. By the way, if you tie, you lose.
Oh, it's basically. A loss. It's a loss. Sorry. I forgot to tell you guys that. If you tie, you're like, oh, it's a tie. We're going to do it. No. You're done.
No, you both lose, and then the next two go up, basically. So once you step on the mat, you stay there until you lose or tie. Iron Man, King of the Hill, whatever you want to call it, it ain't easy. So don't try to. This is what's fun about it. Well, let me finish reading it. It ain't easy. Same rank, same age group, lightest to heaviest, single elimination, win 5 in a row, and you get promoted to your next rank, right? So this is why I think it's amazing because you lose if you tie, you can't like bait Shidos, and you can't really. Well, you can, but you don't want to rely on it to bait Shidos, and you can't.
Wait for
there's no golden score.
Yeah.
So that makes it really fun. It really encompasses the aggressiveness of judo. And the problem I think with this is I don't think in Japan, right? I think it's a great system because they have the population for it and the population density, right? Because like I said, they hold it all in Tokyo and all in Osaka. They have bullet trains. You could afford to take a bullet train, a 1 hour bullet train to Tokyo to do this. But here, I think outside of like even within LA, I think it's pretty hard to make the tournament, and we don't have. What is that? Same rank, same age group, lightest to heaviest. I think that's pretty hard to set up. So I haven't been to one in a long time, but I assume they're going to be like, okay, white and yellow belts is one group, or white and yellow and orange is one group, and then orange and green is one group, or whatever, right? Which is weird because they should really do it by Q ranks, but nobody really keeps track of Qs. For example, we don't really do that. We just
keep do track it by. Of them. I know everybody's Q.
Yeah, so it's just really. I wish there was more clarification on how this works, and I'm sure they basically adjust it on the fly.
Oh yeah,
right?
Like I said, last time I went to compete, and the ones I've been to go coach and stuff, it is basically just like all color belts line up. All orange belts, all color belts line up, all brown belts line up, all black belts. And I think even with the smaller ones with like the age groups, it'll be like, all right, all the brown and black belts age 40s, go up there. All of brown and black age 30s go up there.
Yeah. So for example, the difference between white and yellow belts is not that big, right? But if I was a white belt and I had to beat a bunch of yellow belts, for example, to get a yellow belt versus waiting till I get a yellow belt to beat a bunch of yellow belts to get an orange belt. You see how it's kind of
you're
like
thinking small there. I would be like Sensei. I beat all these white belts. All right. I think I deserve a brown belt.
Yeah. But you see what I mean? Like I could totally see some people would be like not incentivized to participate just because there's no, like they're like, oh, I'm just cannon fodder for this other guy to get their next rank, basically.
You don't think that way. You think that you're gonna win. You think I'm gonna get 5 in a row. You don't think I'm cannon fodder.
Well, there's gonna be that one super X wrestling like D1 wrestler coming in like, oh, I'm going to get my next rank easily.
Well, that's why when I see this tournament happen a lot, I see a little brown belts usually at this tournament to get their black belts. And I see a lot of like white belts looking to get their brown belts, or at least higher level, like green or blue, white belts.
You don't go from white to brown though. It's like, it's cute.
One of our guys did.
That's, let's not go into how our dojo does ranks, right? But I'm 99% sure I read in the rule somewhere you just go up a Q rank. So if you were like green belt But if you're orange belt, you just go into green belt or something like that. You don't just go straight to brown. You don't go straight to Sankyu, basically.
Maybe your sensei won't promote you. You go to this tournament, you beat 10 in a row and get 2 Q ranks.
Well, I think there's a rule about how you can only like jump 1 rank. But I did remember reading somewhere. I forgot if it's USJA or USJF, where it says you can only do like 1 batsugun like every 2 years or something. Like there was like there's a restriction. There's definitely some sort of restriction. I don't remember what it was. Don't quote me on it.
3 batsuguns in 3 years to get their black belt.
So they basically don't want a black belt that's just super strong, comes in, beats everyone, or they did wrestling or some other martial art before, beats everyone, and then they're like, what's an Ouchigari? Like that's what they're trying to avoid, I think.
Oh, you get that anyways.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're trying to avoid. But I've asked because a lot of people think this is easy, right? Even though we know it's not, but there are people out there who thinks it's easy.
Oh, yeah.
Literally just the other day, I was reading Reddit. A guy's like, hey, I plan to train some BJJ and then go to judo at the Kodokan and get my black belt in a year. And I know we talked about this on a podcast many years ago, how it's possible to get your black belt in Japan within a year because how black belt there means something different than here. Yes. But that does not mean that getting it in a year is easy too. Like, we had maybe it's different now, but we had a couple of visitors from Japan that got their black belt in the Kodokan, Simon being one of them, our friend. I visited him this time I was in Japan, and I asked him before, I was like, oh, so how was it getting the black belt in Kodokan? And he was like, yeah, it's possible to get in a year, but it's actually really hard. It actually took me 2 years, he said.
Yeah.
And he said, even those 2 years, I got really injured doing it because you have to fight for your rank. Basically, you have to, even though it's white belt and a black belt, you still have to go through the Q ranks. So basically every time you go up a Q rank, they give you a little certificate instead of a belt that's saying you moved up a Q rank. You have to go through the whole beginner course. They don't care if you're a brown belt from somewhere else, but if you go there, you go through the whole beginner course. And then there's like a written test, I think. There's a written test. And then there's also Nage no kata. You have to do the Nage no kata. And then also every single time you fight through the Q ranks, I think he told me it was every month or every 2 months, but I think COVID kind of like messed things. There's like a tournament from you have to beat all the other Q ranks to get rank up to the next rank. Yeah. So it's basically like the batsugun system, right? So you still have to fight through your ranks. It's not that you just show up to class. By the way, this guy said he was going to show up to Tokyo, to the judo class once a week. So I don't know how that's going to work. So I'm pretty sure you have to show up at least 3 times a week and pass the written test, do the Nage no kata, and fight through your ranks, basically. So it's not as easy as people think. And as you said, you don't get a break. So
there's no breaks.
Yeah, there's no breaks.
The last time I competed, like I said, I've got 3 in a row. I was dead tired. I was just like, by my 4th match, I was like, just throw me. I can't fight. I got nothing left here.
Yeah, so it's not as easy as people think, especially at the more beginner levels. But yeah.
So one of the good things about this one is like this is an annual thing here at the Naka tournaments that we do. This is a once a year thing for us. We don't do it twice a year or nothing. It's
free hot dogs, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So, for if you compete,
this is one of the tournaments that when I first started doing judo, Sensei Bob told me like, hey, you gotta do the Kohaku because there you get a free soda, and it's not even a soda; it's like a cup of soda. It's like a little cup of soda. You get a free soda and hot dog. I think they're doing the shirts this year still. Shirts free this year.
Free shirt.
Oh, so you get the free shirt, hot dog, and a tiny little soda cup. So that's one of the cool things about the tournament. But it's cool that we've been doing this for 93 years. That's awesome. I know some other places don't do it, and I've been seeing some other places promoting that they are starting to do it. So that's great. And like I said, it's a very fun, crazy experience. I think everyone should do it at least once, to see what it really feels like. It's not, like I said, we keep talking about how, it's 5 matches. You know, how many matches do you have in a normal tournament? In an average tournament, you're going to have maybe 2 to 3 matches.
Most people can't even stay in their randori rounds, which you're not going 100%, by the way. Most people can't even do randori for more than 2 or 3 rounds and then they have to sit out. That'd
be a great way to test yourself for this tournament. Go to when you guys do your randori rounds, stay in for 5 rounds straight. No breaks. Just stay in the entire time. Yep. So, yeah. The other thing that's really cool about this year that I was saying that is, here, let me pull this up since you pulled it up also, is that they're having people sign up. So before you'd have to all go early in the morning and wait till they call us up. But this time everything like, okay, we're going to have minors at 8 a.m. sign up. Okay, then we're going to have yellow and orange belts sign up at 10. We're going to have green belts come in at 12. We're going to have purple belts coming at 3. Mm-hmm. All seniors, black and brown belts coming at 5. So you're not there all day. So I think it makes tournament easier for you. And that's one thing that we all hate. We go to tournament time and wait for the kids. Here it's like, no, I got to show up. It's 5. It's towards the end of the day. So I might, I got to keep yourself rested all day and stuff. But that's cool.
Yeah. Look, I don't think I'll be here, right? When it happens, is it?
It's February 4th. You should be back by then.
I should be back by then. But yeah, maybe I'll go. Maybe I don't know if my rib will be fine by then. But
you're gonna go compete. You want that second Dawn that bad?
No, I think I'm just gonna wait the full 4 years. It's.
I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for my shoulder. I'll tape it up. I would have the sling off by then. 4 days doing some rolls and stuff. I can do it. I think.
Yeah, I don't think many of our people at our dojo have been interested. I think just the whole premise of it sounds cool, but everyone thinks it through and they're like, I don't want to do it. So, but it'll be fun if we can get more people going. Cause like I said, this system only works really well if you have enough people going. Otherwise, I've been always wondering, what do they do if only 3 people show up? Do you just beat the same 2 other people?
You go up and in line. So you beat them 3 times up, then you got to beat them 3 times back down.
Yeah. So I don't what is that? It goes back to what we said. Like if you live in a really small local judo place, or for example, if I'm competing in masters and I see this happen all the time. People fight the same 2 people all the time in the local tournament. Then you're just like, one guy's farming. In video game, just call farming points.
All the other 2 are gold.
Yeah. The other 2 guys are just basically giving points away to this one guy who was dominating them.
You will always be thinking the negative. You think the positive. I'm going to win. Everyone going in thinking they're going to win. No one going in thinking they're going to lose. All right, Anthony.
Yeah, but one of the things I forgot to mention, right? So I asked Simon about this, but I also asked. I visited a dojo where I mentioned one of my trips to Japan, where this guy hasn't done judo in like 20 years. So he has a shodan from when he was in high school. And he came back in his 40s and he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to the Kodokan to fight for my Nidan, like they're using the Kohaku, for the Kohaku tournament. And I asked him, I'm like, wait, so are you going to fight people your age? And he was like, no, there's no age division. It's by rank. Right.
Yeah.
Which is why, if you look on YouTube, there's actually one called High Dan Rank, Kodokan High Dan Rank tournament, basically. Ooh, right. So
you got some candy cane belts fighting each other.
Yes, basically. Ooh. So you have to be a certain Dan. I think it was 5 or 6 Dan and above. I don't remember. But basically, it's correlated with age, right? But it's not necessarily by age. So this guy's in his 40s and he's a shodan. He's going to be fighting 20-year-olds.
He can do it. I believe.
So I asked him, I'm like, how are you going to beat them? And he was like, I don't know, I'm trying my best. And I'm like, wait, so if you came back and you because you're only going to get older, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get any younger. And you're going to keep fighting all these shodans that keep coming up. So you're telling me you're possibly never, ever going to get your Nidan? And then he was like, oh, I don't know the answer to that. So I asked the sensei, who was a 6-dan, a coral belt there. And I asked him, like, so what happens if someone like him comes back and he just can't win? And he's like, well, they look at your circumstances, like your injury and your age. And then they look at how your, what kind of judo you demonstrate, whether you demonstrate good judo or not. So it's not always about winning if you, which is kind of un-Japanese like, I think. It's really weird, right?
You're mad because they're going to give a guy in his 40s a little bit.
I'm not mad. I'm just saying it's unusual. I always thought they just care about winning, basically, which you see in other parts of their hierarchy structure, right?
Yeah.
But basically, he said if you demonstrate good judo, they will promote you. Given they'll be like, oh, this guy's 40 and he's doing pretty, kind of like Brian when Brian fights 20-year-olds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So kind of like that. It's like, oh, that guy's like good. It's just he's not as strong and fast as this 20-year-old. So that's an interesting story I heard. But again, that was just one data point, one anecdote I heard from this one dojo when I asked this question.
There has to be a thing anyway, like how we have our American time and grade system. There has to be a Japanese time and grade system where
I don't think so.
No, like,
I don't think. I think there is like a minimum age. Okay? I think there's a minimum age requirement, but I don't think there is a thing where you just sit long enough there and not doing it. Like, oh, if you sit
not doing it, but if you go to practice all the time, you do stuff for the dojo.
I don't know. I think it goes back to what I said last episode, right? I don't think someone who just like shows up regularly would just get a dan rank. you know. You would actually have to demonstrate kata and like not pass a written test. I know for sure. There's definitely a written test, and also in Europe they do a technical proficiency test. Like you have to be able to demonstrate your favorite combo and explain why it's your favorite, the mechanics behind it, and then like you have to demonstrate ability to teach and stuff like that. And that's what happens when you have a really strong central judo organization. Versus what we have here, which is just people asking for money. But yeah.
Goes our sponsorships some more. There's more sponsorships lying out the window.
So I think basically you have to reach like, oh, you've been in a Nidan for X amount of years. Now you qualify for taking a test and then you have to pass the test. You don't just go like, oh, you've been in Nidan for 4 years. Here's your Sandan now. Like
no, I get that. I totally get that. Like,
but that's the system we have here in the US. So,
well, you still have you still have to do the kata. If you're not going to go compete and get points, you still like that's one thing that's like very strict, but pretty strict with all of our federations here.
But we've seen. I'll do that. Never mind. I won't say it. Like, yes, we have to do kata.
I will. I've seen bad kata. Yes, I have seen some bad kata that's passed, and I'm just like,
some of it's on YouTube. You'll see it. Some of it's on YouTube, and someone will be like, "That's like an A on the cut," and I'm like, "Really?" Because I thought I did better, and I got a C. So, like, what?
So I think it's a great tournament. It's very interesting. It's a different system of how to pass belts, and I just love it. You know, I don't go to every year. I've only competed in a few times. I've never done all 5 in a row. I've never gotten that far. I've gotten 2. I've gotten 3. I've never gone past that. And it's killer, you know? And so I would say recommend it. Try it out, you know?
Yep.
Especially if you're a brown belt. Test yourself.
Yeah. I think they should host it twice a year too. Maybe not by the same dojo, but I do think they should host it twice a year. That'll make it easier for people to be able to, if they can't make this one, then they don't have to wait until next year, right? What I also think is, I think USA Judo doesn't have this promotion system. I'm like 90% sure that they don't do batsugun. So based off of the current system, what you'd have to do is basically earn it through another federation and then pay USA Judo again to recognize your rank. So if you care about that kind of stuff, then that's something you'd also have to consider. And I think currently USA Judo recognizes up to 4th dan. So basically, not including 4th dan. So 1st to 3rd, they'll just recognize the other ones. But 4th and above, it has to go through a committee. I'm pretty sure. So.
Oh. So that's I was going to call it the kotatsu. That's the kotatsu.
It's so cold. I had to go under the kotatsu.
Yeah, it's so cold. I had to go to the kotatsu, you know. There's a crazy tournament underneath there. So the day before that tournament, our instructor, Sensei Philippe, is going to be holding a coaching clinic in conjunction with this. So if you're in the LA area or in the California area, or you're thinking about coming traveling to this tournament and you want to get your coaching certification or get your coaching, is it for, do you remember which region it's for? Do you remember?
USA Judo.
Is it just USA Judo?
Yeah, it's USA Judo. This is
why are you all mad about? Why you saying I bring this up? You're all mad about.
No, it's because
why
I'm thinking about how within the last 8 months or 6 months, I've already taken the coaching clinic like 4 times.
That's your own fault.
4 different federations, 4 different, probably all across 2 different federations. It's just, yeah, I'm not going to get into it. It's just really frustrating due to some wrong paperwork being processed, and then like there's technical difficulties and it pushed back the time, and yeah, it's just frustrating. So ideally, I wouldn't do this one because I don't have to, but it seems like I'm going to be doing this one and then try and get a refund on my other one that they kind of messed up on. So
our instructor, Cindy Philippe's great at doing his coaching clinics. It's very fun, very interesting. It's a great way because he gives a lot of information of how to coach and a way of properly teaching people, like not just as a coach, like what do you do on the mat, but also like how to teach at your dojo. So like, I just want to put this out there as we're coming to the end of the show. Put this out there. If you're in the LA area on the 3rd, it's going to be held at what Valley? What is it? San Fernando Valley.
San Fernando Valley. I always mix them up with Valley Judo, but they're technically down the street from each other anyway. So if you go to show up to the wrong place, you're not going to be too far from the actual place. Yeah,
and I'll post it on our own Facebook and Instagram. We don't have a Facebook. We don't have an Instagram. What am I talking about? I'll put
it's a Hollywood Judo Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put on there and stuff. So just if you're in an area, you're looking to get your coaching certification, it's a great thing to do to learn Philippe. Do you remember how much it's cost, Anthony?
Let me see. I think it was 20. Was it 20? Well, you have to pay the coaching clinic, like Philippe for hosting the clinic, and then you have to pay the federation. Last time I checked, it was USJA, so it was 70 for the. I think it was 70 for the federation, 20 for a clinic. I don't remember, but it should be on an advertisement. So.
Yeah, well, I have it right here. Just pulled it up. It is 25. The clinic itself is 25, and yeah, so you go to the clinic, you take the class, you take the test. He passes you. You get your little application. He signs it, and then you pay which federation you're going to go to. All right.
Yeah, I think some clinicians will charge their own fee on top of that 25, but I think Philippe doesn't do that.
No.
So yeah.
All right. So we're trying to keep that episode short right now. So is there anything else you want to talk about, or do you want to wrap it up right now?
No, I think it's good. I'm really sad that I won't be able to train in Singapore because of my rib. It's not healed in time. So I'm not going to pack a gi. But yeah, I'm really bummed out by that. But I guess I'll have to make another trip back to Singapore. But I don't know if it's kind of, what do you think? I'm going to ask you this. Do you think it's weird to just show up and watch and be like, hey, I'm visiting, but I hurt my rib, so can I just show up and watch? I feel like that's kind of weird. But for
people like you and me, I did, when I go back home to the Bay and I go check out dojos all the time since it's become so popular out there.
I just go and watch?
Yeah, I want to see how the coach teaches there, what techniques they do, what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do.
What if they think I'm stealing their techniques to...
Then whatever.
Because like you said, less than 200 days to the Olympics.
Oh,
can't let Singapore qualify.
Hey, we still don't have a Singapore kid. What happened to that guy? He was doing so well that out of nowhere, I think China got rid of him. All right. So with that, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram at Tatami Talk. You can follow us on YouTube at Tatami Talk. You have anything you want to ask us, questions you want us to talk about, episodes you want us to talk about, things you want us to talk about at all, just talk with Anthony at tatamitalk@gmail.com. Oh, yeah. And we have the thread still. That's still up there. I do get some love on there from you guys. Not enough, because not enough people are on threads anymore anyways. And I ain't going on X. X is BS. All right. You can follow me at the Jared_Juan on Instagram. You can follow Anthony Throws on Instagram. Is there anything else I'm forgetting?
Nope.
All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little more compact version of the show. We're trying to keep it to under an hour episode, but hey, we're trying new things. All right. Yep. New year. And with that, please don't forget to
sign up for the Kohaku and slap the Met.
And tournament and coaching clinic.
Yeah. And coaching clinic.
And coaching clinic. Yeah. Coaching clinic.